Let's talk to Jean-Francois-Nellan. He's a British Chagosian. Yesterday evening in Parliament, the vote went through, the bill went through. People don't think there's much chance of it being held up in the House of Lords, I'm afraid, even though they could hold it up because it wasn't really in Labour's manifesto. But the sell-off to Mauritius of the Chagos Islands is now complete, pretty much. Jean-Francois, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Graham.
Thank you very much for talking to us. It happened last night. I don't know whether you're hoping or expecting anything to change as a result. What are you hoping for?
Well, there is a lot we would appointed, but having said that, I believe like the Lib Dem who previously was for the treaty, but I think that's kind of changed their mind now. But you probably seen in the news yesterday where the Prime Minister been referred to the ICC. Because of the crime committed against Chaggosian. Right. But hopefully, it is like a serious issue, and hopefully the prosecutor will now review the complaint and decide whether to open a preliminary examination until the Labour government is stopped with that treaty.
Yes. And you guys have referred Starmer to the International Criminal Court, right? Yes,
correct. I think this is the serious issues of the crime against humanity, which include deportation and forced displacement and persecution of the Chaggosian. Yeah. And our complaint does provide evidence that this crime continues to be committed by the Labour government.
Yeah. Jean-Francois, the line is a little bit tricky, so we're going to try and make it a better one if we can. But thank you for talking to us. British Chagosian there. They feel as if they've been left hanging out to dry, basically, by this government, who don't seem to have taken into account any of their feelings about what they would like to happen with their homeland. And it's not very clear now whether or not the ones who are from Chagos living here can even go home to see their families. It's not very clear at all. But what is clear is that it's going to cost millions and possibly billions and billions of pounds in the future to us as taxpayers. And it turns out that in Mauritius, of course, they no longer have to pay income tax because they've got so much money out of this deal. Absolutely extraordinary, absolutely ridiculous. Let's get a voice note from Darren.
Morning, Mike. Darren from Walsall. So if two-tier free gear says he's got the right people for the right jobs, so that means there was the wrong people for the wrong jobs for the last 14 months then? Is that what he's saying? Well, it's just comical. It's comical. Keep it up, mate.
Well, once again, thank you, Darren, for that. Once again, it appears that Keir Starmer is trying to cover his tracks by making out that, you know, because it's a new beginning, he needs new people in different jobs, like he did it deliberately, when in fact he was bumped into doing it because Angela Rayner had to resign, something that he was trying desperately to stop from happening. Because he didn't want her to resign, and now that she has resigned, he's left without somebody that can control the left side of his party. And he's now had to sort of try and cover all that up by appointing a whole new lot of people to do jobs they're not qualified for. It's basically where we are, right? Incredible. Let's talk about the tube strikes, though, because if you're trying to get around London today, or even if you're planning to visit London this week, it's always going to be a bad situation because the whole city is literally ground to a halt. People are walking all over the place, people are cycling, people are getting on buses, but there were so many huge queues last night for the Elizabeth line, which is the only one that's been open. They're now threatening to shut the Elizabeth line. And yesterday, the Conservatives tweeted this out and spot somebody that you might recognise in it.
You promised that there'd be 0 strikes in the capital.
So it's probably taking me twice as long to get in this morning.
Absolute pain for us, to be honest.
There's just a lot of scramble to get to work this morning.
And I'm asking the RMT to work with me so we can lobby the government.
To be honest, if I could keep up with all the cabinet changes, I could ask you to ask the Secretary of State for Transport.
Yeah,
I don't remember who that is.
Why doesn't he do his job, get round the table and get the trains running?
Look, I don't support strikes. I think strikes are a sign of failure.
Strikes are a sign of failure. Whose failure would that be? Sadiq Khan's failure. That's right. He's now apparently lost all faith in the trade union negotiating process, and the union relations are now at an all-time low, according to a piece in the Mail today. And so there's no chance that any of these tube strikes are going to stop before Friday. which means we've got another 2 days to go. Must be costing an awful lot of money, crippling the tube network. Thousands of members of the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union, that's the RMT, of course, are just not bothering going to work. They want a 32-hour week, they want a 4-day week, and they want free tickets or half-price tickets to Legoland. I kid you not. Absolutely incredible stuff, isn't it? John says this, my question is, why aren't these migrants or their governments made to pay back the $40,000 a year that they've received from the British people for their upkeep? Surely it would act as a deterrent if it was known they have to pay it all back if they're granted status. The British workers don't get away with anything. If we can't afford to pay the bills, we go into arrears and are hounded until we pay up. Absolutely right. Graham in Wrexham says, social media is on the main used to air people's frustrations with life and give an opinion. I believe the police are using tweets as a weapon against the public, not the other way around, like they would have you think. I've got 3 children, all in their 30s, and not one of them use social media in any form. Quite impressive. That is impressive. Well done for you, Graham in Wrexham. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to be talking to Esther McVey, former Minister for Common Sense, of course, but also bring the latest from Poland, because Russia has carried out what's being described as an unprecedented violation of Poland's airspace. This is according to Warsaw's military command. In a statement on X, the operational command of the Polish Armed Forces says it has detected drones in its airspace as a result of a Russian attack on Ukraine. There was unprecedented violation of Polish airspace, it said, adding this is an act of aggression that posed a real threat to the safety of our citizens. So things have heated up a little bit overnight in that particular region. We'll keep our eyes on that. We'll also keep our eyes on what's going on in the Middle East, because, of course, yesterday there was that attack launched by Israel, who said that they claim responsibility, they acted alone. They did ask the United States, or tell the United States what they were doing, but they basically hit Qatar, which has been the place where Hamas leaders have been living. Very high on the hog, by the way, in Doha for many, many years. There was supposed to be some peace talks going on, some negotiations for a possible ceasefire. Israel said they were retaliating for the shooting deaths of 6 of their citizens in Jerusalem earlier this week. So, you know, the world is certainly not a particularly peaceful place right now, but we'll keep you updated on everything that's happening as it happens, and we'll tell you